This Indianapolis weekend racing recap edition of the NASCAR Gambling Podcast here on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by our Patreon. Score exclusive perks, content, and contests, including our NFL win totals contest with a $1,000 prize. Join today at sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Patreon. We're also brought to you by Gametime. Download the Gametime app to get last-minute tickets at the lowest price, guaranteed. Use promo code SGPN for $20 off.
Driver, start your engine!
Strap in and pull those belts up tight as the Sports Gambling Podcast Network presents the NASCAR Gambling Podcast.
I'll wreck my mom to win a championship. I'll wreck your mom to win a championship.
With all the news and the best bets for your NASCAR weekend.
It refrains me from not beating the out of you right now because you asked me stupid questions. But since I'm on probation, I suppose that's improper to say as well. If you could talk about racing things, we could talk about racing things.
Now, here are your hosts, Rod Villagomez and Cody Zeeb.
Fresh off the end of the Cup race, it is the NASCAR Gambling Podcast here on the Sports Gambling Podcast. He's Cody Zeeb. I'm Rod Villagomez, and we get to do a live Sunday reaction video or podcast or whatever. I don't know at this point. I'm so fed up with the way racing was this weekend that I'm very excited to be on the show with you, Cody. But this weekend, other than cashing tickets, this was probably one of the more forgettable Indianapolis weekends I think we've had in a very long time.
Rod, I just want to say congratulations to SVG. Great run by the 91 car. Great win. Just dominated the field, led every lap. Basically, oh, wait a minute. That's not what happened. Wait, hold on. I remember saying SVG would finish probably 10th to 15th. Can you check, Rod? Where did he finish?
Cody, I'm consulting the official. What
Let's take a look. Let's make sure we get it
right.
10th
place.
10th to 15th. I feel like 10th. Weird. Crazy.
And indeed, our boy this is searching for profit, right? Wait. Oh. Cody removed himself from the feed.
I tried to tell you guys. Again, great run by him. It's all wonderful. 10th place. Awesome. Wasn't going to win this race. Wasn't going to be in contention to win this race. Wasn't going to have a chance to win this race. And he did none of those things.
and let's be completely fair too. Again, none of us were saying that we weren't rooting for him or that we didn't think that he was going to do well on this track. We just did not love him. Yeah,
I want to see him in NASCAR. Right. I don't think he should get. I don't think he should get a full-time track house ride next year. But I would love to see him, whether it's part-time in the Cup Series and throughout NASCAR, however it works. Like, I'm all for it. I think it's great. I would love to see it. Love SVG. Didn't want to bet on him today. That's it.
And again, it'll be if he does a few more of these, if he runs a few more of these, of course, we're going to be game for that. But, for now, we just needed temporary. But there's no reason why he needed to be the second favorite to win this race. I mean,
27% of the handle he had early in the week, Rod. Like,
And was he fast? Yes, he was fast because he was able to build his way back up from about about 16th place to 10th place. So on this track, that was fast. But SVG is not the reason why we're talking. We're definitely excited about a good weekend of cashing tickets. As far as the Xfinity race was concerned, we can forget about that Cup race altogether. But I will say that
that was our Cup recap. We're done.
yeah. Honestly, that was about it. Michael McDowell ended up winning this thing.
Shout out to Michael McDowell. Just fucking whooped everybody's ass today and won the race. Man, that's Herb, he's driving.
Careful,
he's
Herb.
Here. Hey,
careful.
Don't watch us. Keep your eyes on the road, but appreciate you joining us. We're proud to be Herb approved.
Yeah, hey, and Herb approved himself to a very nice payday too with all the Michael McDowell tickets that he had. So congrats, Herb. I think the Discord would like you to very much share your picks beforehand and roll with you as well. Searching for Profit says, does he finish with more points next year than Brisk? No. If he were to race,
I mean, that's a pretty low bar.
We'll see.
I mean, oh boy.
You have Cody thinking.
Probably. He might actually. It's
but listen, overall, as far as what we saw in racing, I don't want to say that there was a ton of excitement because we're always honest about how the racing is. This was probably the more tame of what we've seen over the last few weeks, as far as just what we were. And now I don't want stage break cautions anymore, but this is what you get though when you don't have stage cautions, because this field sort of strung itself out, and the thing that it came down to was pit strategies, fuel strategies, which really fuel strategies didn't call itself. There was only one caution, Cody, and we talked about this. You asked me, was there only the one caution for Haley? That was it. One caution.
That was on the lap 5 or something. I mean, that was really early in the race. So.
It was like the first lap. They didn't even get through the first lap, and Haley spun out. So yeah, I'm telling you right now, this is it. This is what you get. You get people stringing themselves out,
right?
And not a lot of situations.
I'll be completely honest. I didn't see every second of either race on Saturday, Sunday, Xfinity Cup. I had a lot going on this weekend, so I was kind of in and out, keeping up as much as I could. But yeah, I mean, this is we knew it was going to happen with the with taking out the stage cautions, but I still think, even though it ends up this way sometimes, I still think the no stage cautions is the way to go on the road courses. I still like bunching it up on the ovals, but because if you get that caution flag that's untimed, you don't know is coming, and it throws a big wrench in this. Like, could have changed so many different things, could have changed strategies, could have all of that stuff. So yeah. I think it's still the right move. Obviously, it maybe led to it being sort of boring this week, just because we didn't really get any cautions and it got strung out. But I thought I still think that it's the right move.
I mean, I wouldn't call it boring, but I'll get to the rest of what I think about this, and obviously we'll break down our bets. But let's tell you first about our new friends at Gametime. I tell you right now, I have been to plenty of sporting events in my time. Trying to find tickets for those, especially if I've decided to go last minute, is absolutely stressful. And it shouldn't be that way. You should be able to want to go, especially if you decide the night before, or maybe even the day of, that you want to go. You shouldn't have to stress out finding tickets. Gametime, fast and easy way to buy tickets for all of your sports, music, and comedy in theaters near you. You got killer deals on last minute tickets and the best price guaranteed. Plus, you can stop stressing, more importantly, over the tickets and start getting hyped for the fun you are going to have. I'm telling you right now, there was one time where I wanted to go see Incubus, but I realized too late that I really wanted to go. Fortunately, I could not find any good tickets. Therefore, I could not see Incubus. That's tough. Gametime would have stopped that for me. So, snag the tickets you want without the stress with Gametime. Download the Gametime app, create an account, use the code SGPN. You're going to get $20 off of your first purchase. So not only do you get guaranteed a chance to see that favorite sporting event, music event, or whatever you want to see, but you're going to get $20 off that first purchase if you use the code SGPN. Terms apply. Again, create that account, redeem the code SGPN for $20 off. Download Gametime today. Last minute tickets, lowest prices, guaranteed. That is gametime.co. Yes, Cody. What do we got?
Surprised Spinhouse didn't get his ass whooped after the race. I don't know if he just doesn't like the international drivers being in the race or what, but he punted
was picking fights with all of them.
Yeah, he punted Kobayashi and
he got into it with Lally too.
Yeah, Lally, but who was the other guy?
The 51. Who was in the 51?
Button. No, it was Button in the 15.
Button.
Yeah, he spun Button too. So it was like, oh, geez. But
He
then Herb said he thought for sure there was going to be a random caution at the end, ruining his day with an Elliott win.
I thought, man, I predicted that this was going to go into overtime.
I thought maybe Elliott was going to run him down, like he was kind of started to, but then he didn't, and I don't know. But yeah,
texting his buddy, checked Elliott, almost catching McDowell. I'm telling you, it was pretty damn close. There was no. And thanks, JDK. Yes, Incubus. I'm so old, but I am. I'm not gonna lie. I love me some Incubus. I did end up seeing them in concert later on, just not that one particular time. So, I love that. And Lynn, thank you very much.
Oh yeah, Rod's a total pro, and he is. Yes, Rod's really good. Kelly says Chase doesn't have it with him anymore or in him anymore. Herb. Telling you right now.
Kelsey, though, that's the thing. It was so weird to see him not catch him.
Yeah, that was strange. But I'm telling you right now, I'm betting on Chase Elliott at Watkins Glen. He's winning this weekend. So I know our picks didn't go great today, but we're getting it back next week, and it's going to be with Chase Elliott. He's gonna punch his way into the playoffs and solve all that problem.
Well, then let's do this then, because obviously these bets didn't go the way we wanted to. Let's go through our Cup Series bets. Obviously, we'll take a break when we need to, but let's go through these and then we'll just finish talking through the rest of the race, because the race kind of flowed the way these picks kind of went. So definitely, something we can go through. Oh, hey,
Lynn, Lord of our Carla in Discord. Yeah. Awesome, great,
nice.
Good
Thank
to see
you for
joining us. Yes. All right, Rod. Martin Truex Jr. Top 5 -110, top 3 +160. He finished 7th, so I mean, there is that. But I mean, just didn't really he wasn't fast in qualifying. He was 12th, so he didn't have a great start. He was 10th in stage 1, and then out of the top 10 in stage 2, and he finishes 7th. But not really a threat all day. That from the times I was checking in, Truex was never involved in this one. So just kind of unfortunate. I know the books were super heavy on him. I didn't necessarily like taking his outright at such the low number, but I thought the top 3 and top 5 would be safe, just with as well as he's been doing, as good as we've seen him on Sonoma, at least earlier this year. But I don't know. It'll be interesting to see where his odds are for Watkins Glen, though, because specifically Sonoma and Watkins Glen, he's really, really, really good at. So I think maybe we missed it and should have laid off of him this week and come back on him next week. So I'm not saying I'm not going to be on him next week, because if the number's right and maybe this poorer performance, I mean, 7th place, not horrible, but maybe we'll get a decent top 5 number next week and we can jump back on it, because he's really good at those 2 tracks specifically. And maybe we just overlooked he's not been super great on these other ones, I guess. So but yeah, miss these ones, unfortunately.
And that's the thing too about Martin Truex. We say, oh, it was a terrible day, but he still finished inside the top 7. It was not a bad day for Martin Truex. Just wasn't the day that we needed to have on him. Searching for Profit tells you good call on Byron and DFS. Cody.
And the sun's yellow and the sky is blue too. But I mean, it was the chalky thing to do, and a lot of people obviously played him, but it panned out, right? He scored 54 points. We knew he was going to start dead last. He was the only starting spot we knew when we talked about DFS on Friday night in our live show. Starts 39th, finishes 14th, and scores 54 points. So I would imagine he was. I don't have all of the scores right in front of me, but I imagine he was probably pretty close to the high. Well, McDowell, I guess, I did play McDowell in one of my lineups. 62.4 points. Obviously, he led most of the day, and had a pretty good day. So.
Yeah, I mean, again, it was just a no-brainer at that point. 14th place finish after, starting dead last. Really good day for Byron. I don't know what he would have done had he been toward the front. But
one on our DFS group, which was, whoops, if it works, there we go. So yeah, shout out to you for doing that. We had a lot of people play DFS this week. So again, if you're in our Discord, do a $5 game every week. Actually, we do it for all 3 series. Not as many people get in on the trucks in Xfinity, which is okay. But yeah, big group today in the Cup Series. So pretty fun. Nice DFS cash for you on that one. Indeed. And then Lynn too, real quick, on the broadcast they were saying Elliott's team's been targeting next week as a date they feel good about winning at. Elliott he's good on all the road courses, but specifically Watkins Glen, I think, is his best road course. He should have won that race last year. Larson dumped him, and I think it was an overtime or late on a restart, and ended up costing him. But he's going to be good there. He got his first career win there, actually out-dueling Martin Truex Jr., who had owned the place prior to that. And those two have had some really good battles. Those are the 2 guys I have circled already going into this. Unfortunately, I feel like the books are probably going to have similar thoughts, and so we'll have to see where the odds fall and what the bets are going to be. But those are definitely the 2 guys I'm watching the most as we go into Watkins Glen, especially Elliott's feeling the pressure now with McDowell winning. I mean, he wasn't going to probably point in anyways, but now there's almost no chance of it, and he is going to have to get in.
Yeah, and again, that's just something that he's going to have to deal with. So what you're telling me, though, Cody, is getting the doc before you next week. Old-fashioned football saying, what's up from the fantasy football? I got so much FOMO out of that. You're at the hotel. What's up, Mark?
Shout out to those guys, Justin over there. But yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Tweeted it's official. What's official?
What's official?
Tech complete.
All of the techs. Okay.
No cars to R&D.
No cars to R&D. Yep, doesn't have the passion. I'm telling you right now, it's just a hit or miss.
Yeah, we'll see. But Elliott goes through. He's like one of the streakiest drivers in the garage. Like, he goes through cold spells, and you don't see much from him. But if he gets hot, watch out, because if they turn it on, and if he wins, I mean, we'll have to see what his championship odds are looking at this week. Because man, it's they could really go on a run if he wins this weekend and gets hot. You got to watch out for that 9 team.
And I mean, listen, his facial expressions alone, that after he got out of the car, the cameras kind of panned right to him, and he looked like he was devastated. And a guy that looks like that, he cares, right? I mean, he obviously cares. Yeah. So it's not as if he got
I know 1 lap left. Like, yeah, he really did start running him down, but he just might not have had, and McDowell might have taken it a little easier on that last lap, like making sure he didn't make any big mistakes and held on to it. So I don't know. I wouldn't say that he's not into it, but I don't know.
I mean, listen, as somebody who works at anything, right? There comes a point in your time where you're like, I know that I need to be better. I want to be better, but you sort of kind of get down on yourself a little bit because you should be doing better. So, I mean, he's just, that's his living life right now. So, but where you can cure all of that? At our Patreon. You got to sign up right now for that Patreon. You're going to get exclusive access to all the contests so you can be a better DGen out there with all the rest of the DGens. Plus, we got an NFL win totals contest with a $1,000 first place prize. Who doesn't need an extra $1,000? Maybe Chase Elliott could have put an extra $1,000 in his car. Maybe he could have passed McDowell. Who knows? But besides season-long contests, they also have weekly contests just for you patrons, plus a monthly SGP Stories podcast. And I'm trying to get Cody to do an after-hours sort of, nice little relaxing ASMR video at the end of the day for you. That could be exclusively on Patreon. You get the completely ad-free, full of behind-the-scenes stories from the SGPN with those SGPN stories. There's even a Discord channel exclusively for you patrons. So make sure you get in there. My weekly reminder, my daily reminder, my minutely reminder, only you can prevent corporate gambling, folks. Do your part. Sign up today. sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Patreon. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Patreon. Be the best DGen you can be. Yes, Ryan.
We didn't again.
Cody and I need to work on this. Clicking the
I didn't let you click on the buttons.
No, nobody delegates this. We just do this on when we see it. I love it. I love it. All right. So what do we got? We got Rye Cape in the chat saying, hey, what's up, fellas? And then obviously saying be the best degenerate you can be.
Old-fashioned football wants to know if my feet picks will make it if they pay for the SGP Patreon. I'm telling you don't want to see those, but if you sign up for the Patreon, If you really feel the need, I can send you a feet picture. Justin,
I'm
I'm charging you extra, Justin, because you're weird for asking.
Cody's always looking for a quick buck, so
I'm a company man. All right, you sign up for the SGPN, and for the Patreon, and I'll help you out. Kelly said not going to make it on points. Has to go out and give everything. So here's the updated. Bob just tweeted this out too. Obviously, McDowell locks himself in with the win. Stenhouse, he's in with the win. Harvick is plus 145. Keselowski is plus 143. Wallace is now plus 28. He's the last car in. Then it's Suarez at minus 28. Gibbs at minus 49. Elliott minus 80. Bowman minus 80. So really, Suarez at minus 28, I would say, is probably the only guy who really has a chance to point himself in at this point with the cut line being moved down a driver. And then obviously Bubba Wallace kind of on the hot seat now, because if an Elliott wins, if a Gibbs wins, if somebody else below that line wins this week, or any of these two coming weeks at Watkins Glen, then we know anybody can win at Daytona. It could change. So that's the updated look at the points. Rod, should we finish going through these horrible bets from today?
Yes, please. All of them were junk. Don't ever fall. No, listen, I had Jenson Button as a top 10 car. That was not even close. Honestly, the only reason I had picked this one was because of an SVG sort of entrance into this, thinking, okay, well, maybe these guys may have a little bit of an edge. Jenson Button, obviously, F1 driver, knows how to do road courses. Yeah, he was horrible. I mean, it was not even close.
Yeah, for this, though, you probably needed some chaos. Like if we'd got some late race restarts, that's the thing with like this type of bet. One restart there at the end, if Allmendinger doesn't get out of the gravel and they have to throw a caution or whatever, we get one restart. This could have drastically changed. You saw it going into one. Logano, Gibbs, Haley, everybody's all over the place. And so it could have quickly changed. He didn't make many friends with Stenhouse, obviously, just completely punting him out of the way. Rye says today sucked.
That's the theme of today's show, by the way.
Luckily, yesterday was really good. I can't wait to get to the Xfinity race because we cleaned up. AJ Allmendinger, we'll get into it, but we cleaned up on the Xfinity bets, which was nice. I had Kyle Larson top 5 plus 160 for the theme of the day. Rod Larson. Well, I guess he finished 8th, so he was just slightly outside of it. But
today sucked. That's what we're at. Rye Cape says today sucked. It was true. Today
pretty much. Yeah. I mean, he started 6th. He was 5th at the end of stage 1, but then he's 8th. I don't. Such a weird day. Again, I didn't see every lap of this race, but Michael McDowell just dominated this race, which is weird. It
was Freaky Sunday. Listen, and this is what it was from the start.
Having like Elliott was up there and Reddick was up there and Truex was up there and Larson was up there and nobody went after him, and it was like, gosh, just so weird. I don't know.
Well, nobody had the speed to get up to him. That's the thing. Once he got his lead, nobody had the speed to catch up to him. He did such a good job of staying clean, of hitting his marks. Like, Tiger. What?
Hey, happy birthday!
Happy birthday!
Rod said he'll sing to you at the end of the show.
Yes, you got to wait till the end of the show for that. Then
Rye said he swept the trucks in Xfinity. We did too. I mean, trucks were very good. We were big on Majeski. He dominated that race. If you didn't catch that, we recapped that Friday night on the live show / DFS show for Sunday. And then, Xfinity, again, we're going to get into it, but absolutely just fucking crushed. Goose egged in the cup. I mean, I did get my most important prediction correct, which was that SVG was going to finish 10th to 15th, and guess where he finished. But other than that, the rest of them sucked.
All right. Well, I had Buescher as a top 5 car. Buescher disappointed today. There was just no part of Buescher. I mean, in fact, Kelly, I know you missed on a big one because of Buescher finishing in 11th. We won't even rehash those wounds for you, buddy. I feel you. I absolutely feel you. We had Buescher doing so much better today than he would have. Not even going to rehash that. So needless to say, this bet did not cash. We will move on for you.
Yeah, pretty much. And your comment here about this guy, we're gonna talk about that coming up because
we'll definitely talk about that.
Yeah, I've got some thoughts on him. I had Chris Buescher. So I had Chris Buescher top Ford plus 275. Obviously did not hit. And then I tossed out Briscoe top Ford, Gibbs top Toyota, Briscoe top Ford, not a bad bet at all. Ends up being the second best Ford. 6th place finish. Talked about it on the betting show. And I can't remember who it was on the Discord, but shout out to them for dropping all the stats on him and kind of talking me into it a little more than I originally had thought, because he showed up and again, he's good, just not when we come to these big tracks. And so he'll be a guy to watch again next week. Gibbs did get spun out early in this race, and then recovered nicely for a 12th place finish, but ends up being the 4th Toyota on the thing. So, man, just I don't know. The Briscoe one kind of had some life. That could have changed the card a little for sure. You hit that 14-1, but rough day.
Yeah, again, it was a really rough day in JDK. Yeah, I was hoping the Bush.
You hate SVG? You were rooting against him?
No, he didn't hate him. He just didn't want him to be in the 10th place because that's where you needed Busher to be to cash that big parlay.
Dos Flacos was the one who dropped all the Briscoe knowledge. So shout out to him.
Thank you, Dos Flacos. All right, my next one was AJ as a top 3 car. Dude must have really hated yesterday and did not want to participate in this one because not only
is he just broken, Rod?
Right now, yes. And listen, broken recognizes broken, right? I know, I see it in him. I see the man that is like, I don't know what's going on this season.
Did they not have the baby yet too?
They haven't had the baby yet. No.
Was this a week early?
Well, it wasn't a week early. I just think it was a few days early. He was on baby watch as well. So, yeah, I mean, listen, all I'm going to say about AJ is that at this point, just like Mr. Searcher for Profit says, do not touch AJ even at Watkins Glen. I don't care. If I say his name next week, Cody,
I won't be betting on Allmendinger. I mean, I have not seen the entry list. I don't know if he's going to be in the Xfinity Series. I would imagine he will be. I will not be betting him. He'll probably win that race, but I'm not going to touch it. The number's not going to be good. And in the Cup Series, like, I just don't know how you can touch him right now. He's just, I think he's broken. I think he's retired already. Like, is he the Martin Truex Jr. of last year at this point? Like, I don't think he comes back. Maybe he runs part-time in a third car and does road courses, but at this point, why even do that? Like, he sucked today. I mean, he was spun around like twice. He was in the gravel once. Like, just another rough day for AJ. So, I don't know. I had Ross Chastain to win Group C over McDowell, SVG, and Suarez. You know how many of those guys he beat, Rod?
0.
None of them. I meant. See, I thought it was the loser of Group C. So that was on me. Apologies. I really thought Ross was going to show up and was trying to call my shot with that.
No, he showed up. He just didn't race.
Did he? Yeah. I don't know. Was he there? I don't know. But I mean, SVG 10th. Seriously, I told you he was going to be 10th to 15th. I've been saying it for weeks since he announced he was going to be in this race. 10th to 15th. That's where I knew he was going to be. I thought Chastain would be better. And Suarez pops up on these road courses randomly. It's unpredictable with him, so it's weird. I don't know, but also at Todd Gilliland, top 10 plus 750. Again, this was kind of building for chaos, but Gilliland did not have a good day. He finished 37th. Like, I don't remember. I think he got. I think did he get spun off the track at one point? Maybe got some damage.
Gilliland did. Yeah, he did.
So yeah, he never really had a chance. But the JDK, how fucked is Colleague next year?
Very.
I mean,
very.
We'll see who they get in their cars, I guess. But I mean, if you get an Austin Hill, that's probably going to be decent for you. But I just don't know. I'm trying to think of any like veteran Chevy drivers or veteran drivers that are really out on the market that you put in one of those cars to go with a guy like Hill, and that would be kind of a good solid pairing. But I don't know who's really available. I mean, like a guy like Denny Hamlin's not going to call it, I don't think. So I don't know.
He'd go to his own team if he was going to.
Well, most likely, right? But
he'd pull a Keselowski.
Yeah, they're fairly fucked, I think.
Yeah. Well, we did cash one bet on the Cup Series side. Hell yeah, to Michael McDowell beating Austin Cindric at -110. Woohoo! That was.
There's your one bet. Hopefully you got in on good on that one.
Thank God. Nick Fortune in the house. What's up, gentlemen?
What's
JDK
up?
saying yes. They have 0 drivers if AJ retires. That is true.
I will be I will be.
That'd
Hey,
be fantastic, wouldn't it?
if he gets cleared, although he's in the Toyota family-ish now, I don't know, but he's been in all the manufacturer families. He's raced Pontiac, Dodge. He's been in all of them. Hill and Gregson. I mean, but that's such a rookie lineup. Like, I feel like you need to have a veteran in the house, and maybe AJ sticks around for consultant work. I don't know, but and then Switch also Todd spun in the similar spot to Brody in qualifying. That's right, I remember that now, and that kind of screwed his day. So congratulations on your one bet that we hit today, Rod. I had Allmendinger over SVG. It was plus money again. Expected SVG to be around 10th to 15th. He did. Allmendinger forgot to hold up his part. Forgot he was racing today. Didn't show up. So yeah, well.
Not even a little. Yeah, there you go. Last minute stage 1, 650 on McDowell. That's a good hit right there. Didn't get in on the McDowell matchup, but that's a better hit than minus 110.
Nice. Yeah,
so
great hit.
Good job on that one. I had the race to go into overtime. Dude, these guys didn't even when they spun out, they were still able to maintain whatever. So there was no overtime in this race. That's what I was saying.
Chase Elliott is running him down. How's there not some cardboard on the track at that point? Like, I don't want to hear shit about how much NASCAR loves Chase Elliott anymore. If there's not cardboard on the track for that, they ain't trying to help him at all. Like, geez, come on.
There was that piece of whatever rubber or something that was on the pit road entrance. I'm like, NASCAR's going to throw a caution on that one. Nope, they didn't. So,
and then we had a car weeks ago that spun out, and we throw it's dropping oil for 3/4 of the track, and then we throw a caution, and yet we don't. I don't know. Guys are spinning out left and right, and we don't have any cautions. I don't know.
Kelly saying the live bets have been saving us this year. Been great chatting during the race and the Discord. I'm telling you right now, this is why you need to be in that.
The Discord has been. I wasn't in there as much today because we had some family stuff going on, but yeah, the live bets these guys are getting in on. It's good. It's great. Everybody's got different spots to call out stuff. So shout out to those guys. They're doing a good job. That's why you got to be in the Discord if you're not. So definitely get in there. You had the overtime bet. I had all of my handful of winners. None of them did it. Again, I was just looking for value this week, and obviously the Truex Reddick thing up top didn't end up being the way to go either. Overlooked McDowell, I guess. I expected him to have a good run, right, and finish decent. He's been good at all the road courses, but I would have never guessed he comes out and dominates a day like he did today. So shout out to him. I had Larson 12-1. I'm going to place Larson 12-1 on a road course any chance I ever get. And same thing with Kyle Busch. The way he'd been running lately. Did he drop a cylinder early or?
But it was some sort of mechanical error or
power or something.
Or he thought it was, and he was driving around trying to get everybody to listen to his engine to tell him what was wrong.
Yeah. He never.
Because he was still at speed for the most part. But yeah, it was nuts for Busch.
Yeah, Busher 20-1. I mean, 2 wins in a row. He'd been really good at road courses. You're just kind of tossing a dart. Don't let me bet Denny Hamlin to win a road course again, Ron. I apologize for that. That was stupid. Chastain,
you had a good reason. It wasn't.
I did clarify with the fact that he hadn't finished better than 13th than 8 road courses in a row or something. But it was just, And so I mean, it finished where expected. It was a long shot for a reason. And Chastain 25-1. We hit Chastain 40-1 at Coda last year. So I was kind of hoping to recreate some of that magic. He didn't show up. I mean, his teammate did. So had the roles been reversed, not SVG, by the way, because he didn't finish good. Suarez is the teammate I was talking about. He's the one that showed up. But I can't help it, Ron. I just, sometimes I wasn't right about any of these bets. But I was right about where SVG was going to finish because I've been telling you guys for weeks, and it happened. So,
all right, I had Truex at 4.5-1 on Barstool. Again, we talked about Truex. He was not a factor for the win. He was always going to be a top 10 car. He just was not a factor for the win. And then AJ Allmendinger at 20-1. We've already said all we need to say about AJ Allmendinger. We've also said everything we need to say about this race.
Let's talk about the Xfinity race, Rob.
Let's do that for a second, but I want one more second where it says, if there's chaos, Denny always comes back. That's words strategy, so he always has a shot. Hey, listen, he tried. He really did try to shake it up with strategy. So, all right. We'll talk about the road course race.
Especially on the road courses.
Yeah. Well, with football season fully underway, most of you guys are degens to the fantasy football world. Here's a show that you need to listen to on the network.
Hey, everybody. If you play fantasy football, especially in auction leagues,
or you're a whiskey fan.
Yes, exactly. Check out the Sports Gambling Podcast Fantasy Football Channel show, Old Fashioned Football.
Coming to you every Tuesday morning, give us a listen. We'll bring you the latest fantasy football data, including
The injury report,
studs and duds,
waiver wire targets,
and suggested fab.
market movers. After all, we are the Marks.
He is my hubby.
And she's J Mark's wifey.
And we're bringing all this to you while drinking an old fashioned and giving you our honest review of a different whiskey every week.
All that and more. Hop on over, give us a listen, come for the football, stay for the whiskey.
This ad's almost done.
Going once, going twice.
Sold.
Well, thankfully, Cody, there was a race on Saturday. And thankfully for us, that race turned out a hell of a lot better than the race today. But I'm pretty pissed off still. I'm salty about that race. I know that our card was basically green across the board, but I am salty AF about this race, and I'm just not going to hide it.
Is it about the AJ part or something different?
No, it's about the AJ part. Yeah. I don't understand. You have the best damn car most of the day. Now, you can argue that Ty Gibbs had the faster car because obviously he won and he tracked down AJ.
Gibbs hasn't touched him this year. Like,
no,
that's what I don't understand. Gibbs hadn't won any Xfinity races he'd been in. He hadn't really been the best car in any Xfinity races, even on ovals at Michigan. Like, he wasn't that good. And AJ, I called him being off last road course. I said he wasn't going to do it then, but this was the one. And maybe it's because the baby wasn't born. Maybe it was distracting him. I don't know. But fuck, dude, like I was all in on AJ, and I don't usually. He's one of those guys I don't really bet that much, and like Kelly says, middle finger to number 10 in Xfinity. Agreed. I'm not going to be betting on AJ anytime soon. Just absolutely ridiculous. But Rod, we did hit a lot of bets in this one, so this will be the fun part to talk about.
We did. But one last thing, I want to put one last pin in this AJ thing. You don't give up that big of a lead. That was a Max Verstappen lead that he had over the field and just got tore into. And then it just, it was
like such a rookie mistake too. Like
the caution didn't help either though, too, at the end.
Well, yeah, but you would expect that out of more of a guy like McDowell. I know he's not a rookie, but not being in that situation very often. Not the guy who's the all-time leader in Xfinity Series wins on road courses. Like, God, it just after last week, he vowed to. Well, I think part of my Gibbs fandom was not betting on him this week. Same thing with Elliott. I didn't want to bet on him because I was hoping the reverse psychology of not betting on them maybe would work. So shout out to Gibbs for getting the win. But I did have Austin Hill over John Hunter Nemechek, minus 125. Not even close. What did I say? What did I say Friday on the live show?
You got to play back to you.
If you could bet. I did. Yes. So yes, recorded audio, sent it back. That was beautiful. I said on the live show Friday night, if you could bet Carson Hocevar and Austin Hill to finish fourth place every single week, and look what happened. He finishes fourth again. And yeah, I had mentioned John Hunter was just things had not been going good for him on road courses. We got to differentiate, right? Really good on ovals. We need to bet him on every oval, basically. Don't bet him on road courses. And it didn't work out for him again. Austin Hill, you can bet him anywhere. Worked out. He did cash that. Also game out top 10, minus 110. Should have went with the top 5 bet, I guess, instead of the top 10. But minus 110 was way too good of odds. Very comfortable there. So both of those cash to kick off the card.
Yeah, and again, Austin Hill, just one of those good, consistent cars. Didn't matter what happened around him. He was able to find his way up inside the top 10 for sure, and definitely inside the top 5. This one made me sweat a little bit. Parker Kligerman over John Hunter Nemechek. Parker Kligerman in trouble early, especially with the whole pit strategy thing as far as wet tires were concerned versus the dry tires versus when everybody else pitted versus God knows what else was going on around him. But Kligerman, to his credit, managed to find his way into a 7th place finish where John Hunter Nemechek finished in 13. And hats off to John Hunter, though, for being able to climb his way back up to at least 13th. But even still, like when he got spun out again, he was like, yep, he's done for the most part. And Kligerman stayed clean. But yeah, props to him. 7th place finish for Kligerman. over John Hunter Nemechek. But like I said, this one had me sweating for a very long time, considering how and where Kligerman was for most of this race. So I'm very glad to have cashed that one.
Yeah. Good call by you again. It was, and this is the one you flipped on the show, wasn't it? After I talked about John Hunter. So I was glad I talked you into it. Glad you flipped it because, yeah, it ended up cashing. I had Riley Herbst over number 11, minus 110 over on Superbook. Number 11 sucked ass again, rightfully so. Where did he come in at? He ended up 27th. Sorry, I had to scroll a long way down. He did start 5th, so I was a little bit concerned at that. But he did not have a good day at all. And Riley Herbst ends up in 12th place. So not the best day ever, but a good enough finish for Herbst that he cashed this one fairly easily for us.
Yeah, and again, the number 11 car did lead 3 laps, but only because of course, pit strategies and all of the stuff that was going on around him. So, he stayed out longer and got those leads. But, yeah, this was never in question as far as Herbst being better than the number 11 car at all. All right, I like I said, Cody got to the dock first, so he took a lot of my good bets. So I had to go fishing around for stuff. This Connor Mosack over Sage Karam one did not hit. Sage Karam actually had himself a pretty decent day, 15th place finish for
Especially
him. Connor Mosack, though,
45 car.
That's what I'm saying. Like, Connor Mosack wasn't all that bad either, to be honest with you. And in fact, his day sort of turned to crap later in the race, where he did end up finishing 26th in this. But this one had a chance because Mosack was in and around the top 10 for a lot of the day, in fact. But, a couple of late cautions there made his day a little bit worse. And then pit strategies. And for a second there, Cody, when
did he have an oil problem, Rod? Did he leave oil all over the track for 3 days?
Not this time.
Okay.
This time, Cody. Not this time. But I thought that strategy and I were going to be friends again, especially after AJ Allmendinger came in for the slicks before the caution even officially happened. I thought, oh my God, me and strategy are about to be friends again because AJ Allmendinger is on the right call, putting those slicks on right away, right? And like I said, he had a gigantic lead over the rest of the field. But unfortunately, like I said, that last caution, he wasn't able to hold off Gibbs. But I was so happy with strategy. I thought we were going to be friends again. And then it, bit me in the ass. So
I can't say I'm sad that you did not hit that one. I don't want to bet on or for number 24 / number 19 / number 66 / whatever other 4 other cars he's been in this year. I'm still sort of irritated with him after a few weeks ago. But Justin Allgaier did have bets on him. Top 3 plus 225, didn't quite cash, but top 5 plus 120. Again, he finds himself up front in these road course races. He started up he ended up not starting great, 13th. So a little concerning early, but found his way up to the front pretty quickly. Ends up with a 5th place finish. So Justin Allgaier, it's underrated how good of a road course racer he is. I was hoping he'd maybe have a little more for the leaders, but does cash that top 5 for us. Not quite the top 3, but we'll take a plus 120 on the top 5.
Yeah, and look, for Allgaier, he was one of those cars too that was doing the right things at the right times and making the right calls. So his shout out to his team for being able to keep him up there. And I mean, look, we talked about the fact that Junior Motorsports still a dominant force in there. And to that point, I had Sam Mayer as a top 5 car at plus 275, which
road course ringer Sam Mayer. Jeez.
At this point, yeah. But listen, here's the thing. This top 5 cashed better than an AJ win. So are you happy that you cashed this one? Because I hope you are. Yeah. Mayer, top 5 plus 275. And I call him out as a top 10 just because I was like, look, if you aren't, if you don't feel like doing a top 5, then a top 10 for sure. But Sam Mayer, the only person that beat him was Ty Gibbs. He ended up passing Allmendinger late in that race as well. So 2nd place finish for Sam Mayer. Not bad of a day for that young man either.
Yeah, he's feeling it. That win, a lot of good for his confidence, and obviously a very good road course racer. So a guy we're going to have to continue to watch. I took a couple shots on some other JRM cars. Didn't go so well. Josh Berry, top 5, plus 500. And top 10, plus 175. Paludo was the real long shot, plus 750 for a top 5, plus 240 for a top 10. None of those cashed. Berry started 3rd, so I was thinking that these looked very good after qualifying. And he dropped back to 9th by the end of stage 1, and then he was just out of it after that. And Paludo, I don't think really had a chance all day. Unfortunately, that was. I wanted to see more out of him in that 88, but just didn't happen. So unfortunately, did miss that group of bets there.
He was one of those ones that stayed out on wets for a long time too. So anybody that stayed out on wets basically just had themselves kind of a rough go of it to start it all out. And you kind of
F1 strategy for us.
It was literally, which tire are you going to start on? And yeah, these guys, they came out right away. And I thought Gibbs was toast right from the get-go from not doing that. But hats off to him for having the car he had. So screw him. But he did cash this one as a top 3 car at plus 110. I did say he was going to be good. I just was hoping he wasn't going to win the race. So I was happy that he had a solid day. Just wish that it wasn't as solid as it was. So Gibbs top 3 at plus 110. I felt like it was going to be an easy cash, and it was a little easier than I thought it was going to be.
Looking back, it's surprising that was even plus money. Like that was a great call by you, and obviously easily cashes that at plus 110. I had Riley Herbst to win Group C over the aforementioned number 24/66 Connor Moyle sack. Easily beat him. Sage Karam, he got him by just a couple of spots because Karam finished 15th, but Herbst did finish in 12th. And Kaz Gralla was the other one in that, and he unfortunately beat Herbst by 3 spots. So did not cash this one, and had the top 10 at plus 260. Sadly, it did not cash that one either.
No, it did not. But it was, look, it would have been fun had it cashed. So unfortunately, that was probably the one. Just that was a long swing that didn't hit. My kind of bigger swing, right? I had LeBay as a winner of Group D. This one had me sweating for a long time, actually, because these guys know how to pick these head-to-heads and these groups. I just don't know what it is about these bookmakers, but they know kind of where to put these guys. LeBay, I said, was going to have a pretty solid day. Almost thought he was going to get in the top 10. He didn't. He finished 11th, though, so not a bad day for my new Canadian favorite driver in 11th. But this is where it kind of got dicey because toward the end of that race, Burton was ahead of him. And then at some points, it was actually Clements was ahead of him for a hot second. Pardis never even factored into this. He finished 24th, but he did qualify 11th, which kind of made me go, oh, man, here we go. But LeBay ended up finishing 11th, but it was Burton finishing in 16th, Clements in 19th, Pardis in 24th. Once again, a plus 260 for that. That was a great day. Was it 250, 260, 260 for that? So pretty happy about that one. And good for LeBay, man. A top 11 finish for a Canadian driver on a road course that's not really a full-timer. I love to see that.
Yeah, this was a great call by you. Shout out to him for getting that good of a finish in an Emerling Gates car too. Like not typically super fast cars, but he had a great day and cashed this one for you. So that was awesome. Went all in on AJ Allmendinger, Rod. What a mistake that was. Plus 150. Bullshit. Should have won this race. Allgaier 11-1. I would place that bet again. Obviously finished in the top 5. Josh Berry 40-1. Obviously he finishes 14th, but started 3rd. So again, 40-1. Just Josh Berry should not be 40-1 anywhere. If he's 40-1, we're probably going to continue to bet on him because he should not be priced that way. Obviously, he never really had a shot to win this race, but there's too much value there, especially when you see what happened on Sunday where a guy like McDowell, a guy that's consistently good at road courses, ends up dominating and winning the race. It's possible for guys like Berry to do that or things to fall into the right place. And so Kelly had number 10 at minus 140. I mean, yeah, I even said, and I apologize, but I said it this morning in the Discord, like, I don't care what the number is, just take AJ. Like, I was so confident in AJ, and that trust was misplaced. So, man, that part sucked. But at least we did have we did have a very, very good day in Xfinity outside of the winners.
Indeed. I had Cole Custer at 8-1. He finished 6th. I mean, not a bad day for Cole Custer. He was just never really in contention for the win. Obviously, it was either AJ or Ty at that point that was going to win. And then I had Sam Mayer at 18-1. Sam Mayer finished 2nd. I strongly think that if there was maybe 5 or 6 more laps, Sam Mayer may have had something. Well, no, because Ty Gibbs had like a 8-second over the field. he definitely dominated everybody. He could have probably beat them and then running a full lap and still beat them as well. But I mean, look, for an 18-1 to finish second, if I've learned nothing from Cody Zeeb over the last couple of years, it's that if an 18-1 finishes in second place, you did the right thing and made the right pick.
Yeah, and again, even when bets like that don't hit, it is the right call. He was there. He's not expected to win at 18-1, but he put himself in a position he could have won. Makes it a good bet. Kelly says, at least I learned to get the damn bet in early to get a better number. I really think that we record our shows early in the week, basically, as odds are coming out and stuff, before practice, before qualifying. I still think that getting your bets in early and you're going to get good numbers more often, and you're relying on the stats, you're relying on what's been happening. It's so hard, Rod, with these short practices. You get a group A and a group B. The conditions are different. The sun's out. It's wet tires. It's not wet tires. It's rubber on the track. It's not rubber on the track. It's the best 10 lap average, but only 4 cars ran 10 laps. And he ran 20 laps, but he ran 6 here, 6 there, and 6 over here. Like, it's so hard to get any data out of the short practices. Back in the day before COVID, when we had days of practice, completely different story. And the numbers just get chopped up so much. I was looking this morning, and it's like Reddick looked fast and Elliott looked fast, but the numbers move so much that it's hard to get in on it. So I am still a full proponent of most of your bets be placed earlier in the week based on numbers, based off the statistics, based off what you think is going to happen. Not that you can't add bets, of course, and the live betting has been great. Guys have been hitting live bets. I hit live bet on Chris Buescher last week at Michigan. And so you can do that as well. But I do think getting in early on a lot of these numbers, for the most part, not always, of course, but for the most part, is the way to do it. And so that's what I really like about how we just have our format. And obviously going through these bets, it worked out for a majority of them, right? So, well, don't listen to the Cup Series part, but for the Xfinity Series part, it worked out well.
I know it's funny too, because when you post them and you're like, this was a fantastic card, and then next day like,
that's like,
we
hit one of these bets, so there is that. But
I mean, listen, if anything, you guys that listen every day, you know the process, right? And you're not here for quick picks. You're not here just to tail a pick because it's a tail a pick. Like, I think we've weeded those people out of our audience at this point, and they know that the process is more important than just the picks. So talking these down, yes, we're going to give you some good picks. Yes, we're going to give you the picks that we want to really emphasize, but you guys are smart enough to know when we're full of it and when it's time to follow us. So hopefully you, like I said, you've learned this by now. JD Kez says he waits on the plus 300 type units until after qualifying.
Yeah, but AJ was plus 150 when we gave him out on Wednesday, and he was minus 140 Saturday morning. So
yeah, it's a tough sell.
That's a pretty big swing. I mean, it can go both ways for sure, but I think in general, it's better to get him in early. Obviously, some things like Truex plus 450, you gave that out and it moved to like plus 800, but had he qualified on the pole or was he starting top couple, it would have dropped down to plus 200 or something like that. Like, it can go both ways, but I think in general, getting the bets in early is the better strategy, in my opinion, at least.
I concur. All right. So next week we move to another road course. It is Watkins Glen. We are excited to, I can't remember, Cody. Has there been another time where we've had back-to-back road courses like this?
I'd have to go back and look, but man, I don't feel like we've had back-to-back in the Cup Series. The Xfinity Series we have for sure.
Yeah.
But I don't know if we've had back-to-back in the Cup Series before. Obviously, prior to a couple of years ago, we only had 2 total on the schedule. It's been bumped up to 6 since 2020 or so. But yeah, I don't know if we've ever gone back-to-back weeks. And this is it, Rod. We have a road course and a super speedway to end the regular season, to set the playoff field. Shit's going to be crazy the next 2 weeks.
And listen, here's the thing too about it. This is a true road course. This isn't the Roval. This isn't the half, street course, half what regular oval track. This is legit flat out road course. So, that whole back straightaway is not there for everybody to kind of go crazy on. So I mean, this is going to take a little more technicality. I don't know that we take a whole lot away from this week going into this coming week. I mean, yes, but at the same time, I don't know that this week was even a good indicator of what to expect. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I got to dig into Watkins Glen and what some of the trends have been. I think we'll probably see slightly more cautions and stuff like that. And again, it's tough on which road courses translate to the other ones, right? And I think, again, momentum's something that's big. So I think there's going to be a lot we can translate. Do you think Michael McDowell's the fastest car and leads every lap and wins this race? Probably not. I would probably not even bet on him to win this race because I think that's more unlikely than Chris Buescher winning back-to-back races was. Like, it was great for him, but I don't see it happening again. So I don't know. I got to dig into it and see where we go, see where the numbers are. That's what dictates a lot of it, right? Is yeah, I'd love to just bet everything Truex and Elliott this week, but if they come out at plus 300 and plus 400, then it might not be worth it. You have to look at it. So we'll see where the numbers come out and dig into the research a little bit more and see where it goes.
Oh, Kelly also says he hates the no stage caution. Do they change that next year? I don't think they change it now.
No, I think they'll keep it. And like, was it Sonoma where it worked out really nicely? We had the strategy calls, and that's, we kind of touched on that earlier, but this race just a bad example of it because obviously it went completely green basically after that Haley caution was very, very early. But if you end up with some natural cautions in there, some guys have pitted, some haven't, some get to pit road, some don't. It changes it up. It keeps it fresh. And think about last year and think about, we would have had McDowell wouldn't have won this race if there were stage cautions because he's going to stay out. He's going to win the stages. He's going to get the points, but then he's going to get shuffled back. He's not going to have the chance to keep himself up there. Things are much, much different with the stage cautions. And I think it's for the better on road courses. I don't want to see it on ovals. I think we need to keep the stage cautions, but I think on the oval or on the road courses, I think the way it is good. Today, kind of a bad example. It's the other side of how it can go, but it's not going to go that way most of the time, I don't think.
But it wasn't even that bad either because McDowell didn't come out and lead every single lap. I mean, obviously he had to fight his way back. So even still, like those strategy calls, because again, was it Hamlin stayed out, Keselowski stayed out because they wanted the stage points. So the fact that they're awarding the stage points at the end of the stages still plays into what do you want more? Do you want the track position or do you want the stage points? And Hamlin and Keselowski were two of the biggest examples of that because they stayed out and they basically got kind of swallowed up by the rest of it. So, it's whether or not you want to win the race or you want to point yourself into a better situation in the playoffs. Now, of course, Hamlin and Keselowski's got a pretty good buffer. Hamlin's got the win. So, it's a matter of what you want to do.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, for Keselowski, very smart because there's at least one driver getting in on points. And right now, him and Harvick are very closely swapping that position. So you need every single point you can get for a guy like that. And with Hamlin, I mean, Hamlin won the stage. He got an extra playoff point. So, if he gets from the round of 8 to the championship 4 by 1 point, which is about how much he missed out last year on the Hail Melon, it could make all the world of a difference. And maybe Denny Hamlin's your champion this year.
Indeed. Herb says it's a big strategy of his, grabbing great numbers early and seeing where it lands later, then add pivot accordingly. Listen to Herb. He's cashed some pretty big tickets lately and the live betting has completely changed the game. Need to use more now, which is why we have the Discord. Look at you. I love it.
Yeah, and that's a great point by Herb is it gives you more options too because when the numbers do move, which direction, I mean, it does allow pivot plays and you can kind of, hedge on certain things by taking something else. I think it works out well. So, get in the Discord, join the conversation.
Speaking of that, let's continue to move this conversation to the Discord as we wrap things up. Anything else you want to get off your chest, Cody, as we wrap it up here? Because, the Xfinity race was great, but this is just leaving me wanting to have more of this Captain Morgan and fruit punch concoction that they got going on.
I just closed the tab. Could you tell me one more time where SVG finished? I forgot.
Where he's not going to finish next week because he's not running next week. Is he running in Watkins Glen? Did that bring him?
Not that I've heard. I don't think so.
Well, you figure that he won this week, so he should come back next week.
Yeah.
Oh wait,
10th to 15th, I believe, is exactly where I said he would finish.
You did. You're right, buddy. Hey, listen, your
No,
predictions on those. Just too bad we couldn't translate that to the rest of the card.
My model shows this is going to be on 10th to 15th, and guess where the fuck he finished. I didn't get anything else right in the Cup race, but I might be more happy about that than anything else.
Hey, listen, that's and Buescher, we need it.
Yeah, where Buescher should have finished. God, see if he would have been in the fucking race, Buescher would have finished 10th, and we'd all be a lot happier. God damn it, SVG.
Right, let's put this out of
our mind. Go back down under. I didn't mean that.
I love anybody.
I love him. I'm very excited for him to be in NASCAR more.
Today, I loved Lolly today. I loved
it's great
the other guy that was in there.
The international stat, like the number of let me see if I can find it super quickly. Like the number of international drivers we had and wins from all these different things. Okay, here it is. 7 countries, 17 NASCAR Xfinity Series championships, 9 Cup Series championships, 4 IMSA championships, 3 Truck Series championships, 3 Supercar championships, 2 WEC championships, a Formula One championship, 936 NASCAR National Series wins, 82 Supercar Series wins, 45 IMSA Series wins, 15 Formula One Series wins, 5 IndyCar Series wins. Like, that was the field of drivers we had today. Australia, England, Germany, Japan, New Mexico, New Zealand, and the United States all represented. Like, absolutely amazing. Loved it. I'm excited for SVG. I had a blast watching him Friday night. He did a great job in the trucks. An amazing drive. Like, I can't wait to see him continue going forward. But I was right about him this weekend.
We just weren't ready to crown him the next superstar of the NASCAR Cup Series yet. So, and that's all right. That happens. But all right. Well, Cody, let's put a pin in this then. Let's come back on Tuesday with our Cup Series bets and picks, as we always do. Once again, thank you to each and every one of you who have joined us and stayed with us throughout this live show. This is fun. We'll probably do more of these as the season winds down.
Been having a lot of fun with these, so it's always good to interact with you guys, get your opinions and all of that. So follow me on X at Husker_Zeeb. You can find all my work over there. Man, we only got 3 races this week, Rod. SRX, Xfinity, and Cup. So a little bit of a letdown. No trucks, no Indy, no F1. I'm sad about that, but you know what? That's all right. We're gonna make the most of what we got, and we're gonna win a lot of money this week.
Indeed, sir. Indeed. We are going to put our research caps on all day tomorrow, come up with some good bets for you on Tuesday. So until then, I'm on X at RJ Villagomez. Link in the bio to everything I got going on, whether it's here in between media. I'll be back on the back road this week to talk about Watkins Glen. Catch me on Fast Money for frequency's sake. And then, of course, check out all other stuff I've got going on the Sports Gambling Podcast website itself. Back on Tuesday. Thanks for joining us, everybody. We love these live shows. We'll do more of them. So until then, let's go racing and let it ride.